And good evening. Welcome into tonight's edition of the Bluefield University Coaches Show. I'm Joe Jarvis, your host. Going to be speaking with head coach of the Bluefield Rams, Dewey Lusk, here in a little bit. But first, I want to say thank you to our host and sponsor of this great coaches show, The Grind, here in downtown Bluefield, 103 Spring Street, Bluefield, Virginia.
How about The Grind?
Check them out online.
Best peach tea there is.
I didn't know that existed.
Absolutely. Good job, Sarge. Thank you.
Sarge Colin O'Donnell, who celebrated his 28th birthday over the weekend and is a gracious host for us here in Bluefield, Virginia. Learn more online at thegrindbluefield.com. And, hey, if you want to get caffeinated or get a great sandwich, it's a great place to come visit. And you know what? You might want to do it before Bluefield University Rams football game, and that's what we're going to do tonight here on the Coaches Show. We're going to look back this past Saturday. Not victorious, but a lot to take from this first contest as Bluefield University against Thomas More. And Coach, let's go back. I told you before we got on the air here, let's do the compliment sandwich. Let's do the positive. Let's just kind of highlight the negatives, and then we'll go out with some positives. First positive takeaway from that game's got to be offensively. Over 500 total yards with your offense, which had to change a little bit. We'll get into that here a little bit, but let's focus on that offensive side of the football. Man, some fireworks from your side of the ball.
Well, you know, we knew going in we've got some really talented receivers, and they performed on Saturday night. You know, it was Nathan Hurstich's first start at quarterback in a college football game, and I think he learned a lot, but he did a lot of great things. But you know, you don't just walk out there and throw for 471 yards and not have a lot of spectacular plays. And that's kind of where we are. We've got a team that is talented offensively, defensively, and special teams, and we make a bunch of plays, but we are making 5 or 6 just critical mistakes at the wrong time, and we have to learn to correct that. And the only way to learn to correct that and get confidence in what we're doing is we got to pull one of those games out. And we're very competitive, and Thomas More, give them credit.
Oh, of course.
What a good football team.
Good program, good-looking program.
Oh, yeah.
That's a good opponent to have in the future.
Oh, yeah, they're a good football team. How did their quarterback keep getting up?
I have no clue.
I mean,
that kid saw the turf over in Mitchell more than I've ever seen, and I've been alive 45 years.
And his helmet was falling off as much as my hat. But you know, give them credit. Good sound, just good football out there being played.
Good athletes.
And we, you know, 4 turnovers to 2. We had the 4, they had the 2. Critical one on the kickoff return. They had scored, kicked it to us. We fumble it right back to them. And that kind of makes a difference in time of possession and those kind of things. But anyhow, we've got to correct the mistakes to get where we want to be.
That was going to be my next question to you. The mistakes you made, like you mentioned, are costly. And it's a key point of the game, especially inside the red zone. When you give up a ball like that or you give up a play over the top defensively, what do you focus on? I mean, you don't want to focus on the negatives with film and practice, but how do you adjust to a game as it was this Saturday with practice this week, and then on the road going down to Emory and Henry? What's the focus? Are you looking ahead, or are you correcting what happened this past Saturday?
We're going to correct early in the week the mistakes that we made, show them the mistakes. Well, I'll be out in practice, I know, on my end with the passing game part of it. Hey, we're not lining up correctly here. Spacing is saying, you know, and I'm constantly working on spacing and timing, and, you know, they are kids, and they are 18 to 22 years old. And sometimes when the lights are shining and the bullets are flying, they're going here rather than here. But it's like I'm telling them, if we would have done everything correctly, we might have thrown for 700 yards.
You probably could have.
And so it's a good problem to have. We need to get it corrected. And I think if we get a win up under our belt, this thing's going to take off.
Well, let's look at the other side of the ball too, defensively. I mean, granted, the scoreboard doesn't really show the effort on defense you had. Of course, we want to start off by saying congratulations to your 5th-year senior, DeMarcus Winbush, setting the all-time sack record at your school. That's
isn't that amazing? That is a big deal, and congratulations. And what a tremendous player and even better young man. So we're mighty, mighty proud of him. in all his accomplishments. And defensively, same kind of deal.
Right.
You know, Coach Cackless is over there, and he's going to be aggressive, and I want him to be aggressive because that's how we play. And but, you know, he's called this blitz, and back's going out, and he's asking this guy to peel to go get the back. He doesn't peel.
Right.
You know, we go over it every day.
I know the one where you brought the full house. You speaking about the one
he's going to bring the full house.
You brought the house, and then where they just went over top of that little screen pass and got that short touchdown. That was kind of a difference in the game.
And then, you know, and some of it's communication too. And you know, we got a banjo call, and we shouldn't have made a banjo call right there, and that's where they're going to switch, and one got it and one didn't. So they're both going for the same dude, and here we go. But those are little things, and those are first game mistakes too that we can correct.
Because you can only get
better.
so much in practice and scrimmaging.
Oh, it was terrible. They get tired of hitting each other and playing against one another. But these are correctable things. And right now, you know, we just got to keep plugging, keep our chin up, and let's get after Emory this week.
Look at some of the highlights coming out of that game. I mean, like a young man we're going to be speaking to here in a little bit, Billy Corbin, 8 tackles. And that was a career high for the young man.
Well, you know, he's a pretty good player considering he's from Florida. You know? But let me tell you,
a Florida man. That's just a headline I see.
And you're going to enjoy talking with him. Not only is he a very good football player, a great student, he is a great young man, and that's what we like to surround.
That's what's
with.
abundant on your team, isn't it?
We've got several that they're really good kids because. If you're not, we're not going to keep you around too long because you know we want to have good, solid citizens and good people of the community, and if we can get the entire team to that point, and you always have 4 or 5 bad apples, and you gotta weed those out. If we can get to that point, we're going to start winning because it all goes hand in hand.
It does. And before we quit talking about Saturday and move on to this coming weekend, special teams, Griffith. That young man has got a leg.
Yeah, and then we also have 2 or 3 right behind him.
Right,
that
exactly.
Have a leg too.
And that special teams, you know, I thought would probably be one of the weak points of this team, but yet was successful. And made some mistakes too, but
we expect it to be our strong suit. And one of the things that we concentrated on this week, and you know, when you have a front line of players, and then it kind of drops off to the second team talent-wise a little bit, you know. You've got to mix in special teams with a variety of folks, and everybody has to pitch in. The one thing that we needed to improve on from last spring was ensuring that we've got 11 out there each time. And that, and you know, as crazy as that sounds.
I know, but it's true. It's true because of the personnel that play.
As crazy as that sounds, because, you know, let's say Billy's supposed to be out there and he's a starting linebacker and he just got nicked up coming off the field and we're getting ready to go punt return, yet Billy didn't tell us that he got nicked up, and then we've got Tim, but he's sitting over there with the trainer. I mean, it's all communication.
It is.
And I told the kids last week, I said, we've got to improve on that. I said, do I need to improve on it? Absolutely. Do the assistant coaches? Absolutely. But so do you.
You got to take some individual responsibility.
It's all of us working together to make sure, and we did a much better job of that on Saturday. But Dustin Barker, he had a low snap on a field goal, and then Tanner, he just didn't follow through on the extra point. But other than that, special teams were pretty good, and he punched the ball extremely well.
Let's talk.
And Riley Stubbs, what about his kicking off in the end zone?
Deep.
Yeah,
I mean,
he's
touchback
got a
after touchback.
Tremendous leg, yeah.
Which I'm looking forward to the rest of the year. Now, let's talk about bumps and bruises. It happens with every game. Major key players are not going to be with us coming up this week, maybe. Any main injuries coming out of this game?
Well, I'm not sure right now. I don't know if we'll have Herstich this week. That's going to be a day-by-day deal. But he'll be fine after this week if he doesn't get to go. But Josh Nelson
I was going to say, what a great performance from that young man coming in
20 points in the fourth quarter. And, man, he made a couple nice throws. Stepped up in the pocket.
Just great accuracy.
And so that was great to see. But once again, where he got to play last spring
Think
a
about
couple
it.
games
He's still
to
fresh.
start, that experience helped him to make the plays that he made on Saturday.
Well, kudos to that young man coming in and to the whole team as a whole. I know in defeat it hurt. But the kids, I thought, played with their hearts out there,
never gave up.
know in their heads they could have won that game. So I mean, that's the thing. It can build on it.
And it's like I tell them, and you know, as long as I've been doing it, the one thing that people have always commented to me on, do your teams play hard, and I want them to play hard and play aggressive. Now, if we can just correct our mental mistakes, we're going to be in good shape.
Well, let's look ahead to Saturday. Got a 1 o'clock matchup down in Abingdon, Virginia, taking on a very historic program, one you know pretty well personally, in Emory and Henry. What are we going to be seeing as we take on them this
Well,
weekend?
Emory's got experience and you know, a lot of history, and they normally lead the Division III in attendance, so it'll be a lot like a playoff game. It'll be a good crowd, especially not being able to have many fans during the pandemic. So they are looking forward to Emory opening up and having a home game. You know, it's going to be nice for me. I probably coached half the stadium in there that'll be in there on Saturday. So I'll get to see a lot of my old friends. The guy holding the chain, I played Keith Owens. I played football and baseball with, so I'll get to see him. But guys across the road, Sanders Henderson played with me. Josh Wellenhofer, I coached. Kurt Newsom was a senior coming in or going out as I was a freshman coming in. So it'll be fun, and it ought to be a really good football game.
Well, what are the keys to the game? What are you looking at? What are you preparing for? What are they going to throw at you, you think?
They've got a really good defensive line, and they play aggressive. They like to play a lot of man coverage. And so
which could be to your advantage.
Well, we would hope.
Yeah.
And they've got a good running back transfer from UVA Wise. Got a couple shifty kids at wide out. So if we'll go down there and minimize our mistakes and improve on that, hopefully we'll give ourselves a chance to win in the fourth quarter. So what
are the advantages on your side of the ball?
Well,
speed's got to be one.
Our receivers are a pretty big advantage. Our linebackers are a huge advantage. And, you know, secondary continue to work and clear up a couple of those mistakes on the special teams part of it. And the team that makes the fewest mistakes is going to win, and that generally happens. And so we just need to go in there and be focused and get excited about playing like we were last Saturday night.
That was the one thing you didn't lack. You did not lack excitement or joy of the game.
They're going to play hard and play. They have a lot of fun, and we got to continue that. But we've got to get over the hump and get that W. And then I think once we do, I think it'll kick in and we'll be okay.
It's one of the things, this little light of mine, you know, you just kind of light it up and it's going to keep going.
But, you know,
because a win's a streak if you think about it.
I think you got to win two.
Well, still, to me, it's a streak. So.
But, you know, it's kind of like the SEC. There ain't no patsy out there. You've got to come to play in the Mid-South every week because every team can play and every team is well coached and it's good football.
Well, you can see the coverage of this game and learn more about it coming up this Saturday as the Bluefield University Rams travel down to Abingdon, Virginia to take on Emory and Henry. Learn more online at bcrams.com. Head coach, good luck. That's all I can say, man.
Yes, sir.
Best of luck. And thanks for the recommendation of the peach tea. I'm going to get me some.
The peach tea at the grind. It's the best in the business.
I'll have to try that out. Don't forget, learn more about Coach Lusk, the whole team there at Bluefield University, online at bcrams.com. Coming up in just a little bit, I'm going to be talking with one of your defensive standouts, Tavarius Corbin, but he wants to go by Billy, number 35, who had 8 tackles. And coming up right now, who's going to take the place of head coach, the lady who tries to get a lot of behinds in the stands and make sure we have good equipment and some of the best looking. Look at that shirt.
Let me tell you what, she got us. So she helped us get those red jerseys now.
Were those not sharp?
Well, I thought they were.
I thought that was the sharpest colors I've seen Bluefield in a long time. And man,
Bob made me wear the red pants. I don't know.
I thought red on red. It looked like D1 football out there. Those uniforms. Those are high-dollar uniforms.
Well, they look good. And she's trying hard to get us where we need to go, and we appreciate her.
And we're talking about Tanya Walker. She's going to be coming in here in just a second. She is the VP for Intercollegiate Athletics.
She's the boss.
She is. And well, you knew it before she even got the job, I think. Head coach Dewey Lusk, ladies and gentlemen. Learn more, like I mentioned. Get coverage of that game coming up this Saturday, 1 o'clock kickoff down in Abingdon as they take on Emory and Henry. Best of luck to you, Coach.
Yes,
appreciate you. And Tanya, as you make your way over here, we're going to learn more. Don't forget, coming up some more events this week. Wednesday, men's soccer going to be taking on nationally ranked Reinhardt. That'll be a 2 o'clock kick on the pitch at East River in the soccer complex. Javon Bast and Ethan Stinson are going to have the call. Jackson, I'm sorry. Jackson, forgive me. Jackson's our producer here for the Coaches Show. Jackson, forgive me. I'm not very good at reading chicken scratch from McDowell County that I get from Bob Red. You can learn more about that and see coverage of that game online at bcrams.com. But now we want to welcome in a lady that, I don't know how you stay in one place like you've stayed here at Bluefield University with the amount of energy and the amount of success you've had at the now Bluefield University. Ms. Tanya Walker, first, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much.
And congratulations on just an incredible program. Let's talk about first Rise Up Rams. You've raised over $48,000 last weekend. I'm sorry, that deserves a round of applause because, my goodness. And, of course, all the benefactors that helped make it happen.
Absolutely.
But, well, tell us about that program and what it all entailed, and how did you get that kind of funding?
Yeah, well, I cannot take all of the credit for myself. It actually was launched in our advancement office for a weekend of athletics giving, and so I am just pushing. I'm a part of the team, as are my coaches and the student athletes. And so last year we raised right at $48,000. I really think we're going to, once everything is counted, it will be over $50,000 this year. We'll continue to push, and it's all about our student athletes. It's all about creating great opportunities for them.
Because it's an investment not just in athletics. It's investment in this, like you mentioned, that word is so important, student athlete, and that student comes first, doesn't it?
Student comes first, and we are trying to give them every bit of support that we possibly can because it's our goal to help them graduate. That's the end goal in everything we do. I kid with them often, and I tell them, hey, I would love to have a bunch of championship rings, and one day we'll get there.
Right.
But my championship right now is seeing them walk across that stage, and each and every one of them doing what they're supposed to do, committing to academics and to make sure that they are strong people and ambassadors for this institution upon graduation.
Well, because, that's the one thing, too. The conversion over to university's got to play in a lot into that because you can get these kids, look at them. They'll be able to get their undergraduate degree, but now they can go on and get a master's degree and in some programs get a doctorate.
Absolutely, and that's the goal, and that's the reason behind the name change, so that the institution can continue to grow.
Right.
We have more program offerings, and I think in the long haul we shall be better for it.
Now you're here in your third year. I mean, that's youthful when it comes to tenure at an institution like this. What's the growth been like since day one at Bluefield College to now Bluefield University in your 3 years? What's it been like? What have you seen? What are some of your I'm sorry, you need to spread your wings and flap them out a little bit. Spread your chest out, puff your chest out, and be proud of what you've done. Tell us some of the accomplishments that's happened.
Yes. I'm just going to talk about a few things that we've done. I think, as a staff, just growing and becoming more cohesive as a staff. We're going in the same direction, excited about opportunities that we have. Definitely commending our student athletes in the classroom. So last year, we were able to surpass the 3.0 GPA for all of our student athletes combined.
That's awesome.
That's my number one goal.
That's incredible.
So making sure that our student athletes are supported, working with the ACE Center and Dr. Martin to ensure that they have tutors and everything that is necessary to help them be successful in the classroom. This year our tagline is more than an athlete.
I was going to ask you about that. Let's talk about that.
So we're going to be
I see Bob Red with a T-shirt that says more than an athlete.
Yes, COVID has hurt us.
It hurt everybody.
So it's hurt everyone, and our goal is 4,000 hours of community service annually for a department.
You're kidding.
No, I'm not kidding.
Now, that's inclusive of staff and student athletes.
And so we want to be the face of our institution. And so we say that we're the front porch of the institution. More visibility than any other.
Ambassadors, too.
We're ambassadors for the campus. And so we want to make sure that we are immersed in the community with our youth, because we know our student athletes are looked upon and looked up to by the youth that are in the community at local schools. And so once COVID passes, we can really get back into the classrooms, welcoming them back to school, going to nursing homes, and really just doing the things that we know we need to do to be that face of the institution. But yes, 4,000 hours of community service.
That's
And we
incredible.
were trekking in that direction my first year, and then COVID.
Yeah.
Um, so academics, the fundraising part is great. So we've raised some $48,000 the last 2 years over the course of a weekend, and so now it's really about growing our Rams Club and the support for our
Well,
student athletes.
you
hitting
you
on all your
needed. I
questions.
think you're taking my
I took
job
I took
already.
a peek at your
You
questions.
see, that's
I
the thing.
think.
But how can people, if they want to be part of this growing? I mean, it's a groundswell.
Yes.
And it's just going to come up. What if people want to be part here on the ground floor and get in better with Bluefield University Rams? And how can they help out the student
Yes,
athletes there?
absolutely. So, becoming a part of our Rams Club is definitely a plus. That's an opportunity for them to sow into each and every student athlete. If they are committed to football or basketball or tennis, it can be a membership that is aligned with a certain program to assist with needs of whether facilities or scholarships, or just operational cost of that particular program. If they would like to give generally, they can just give to athletics, and it gives me the discretion to use funding in a way that I see necessary. And so contact Jacob Key at jrkey@bluefield.edu.
Now, there's also a link online at bcrams.com
And
as well.
bcrams.com is probably the easiest way to do it. Come on board.
But there's some
sign-
perks in
There's some
return.
perks,
You get
yes.
discounted tickets to events,
discounts in the bookstore.
right?
In some cases, there are passes for game entry, gear, and so yes, come
Exactly.
on board, be
But
a part of our team.
The main thing is, look, the investment you're going to be
It's
making.
the investment in the student
Student
athletes.
athlete. Tanya
Absolutely.
Walker, I appreciate you.
Yes.
And appreciate the effort you're putting into our community. I grew up here. I am so proud to say that Bluefield University now is a part of this community.
It is a part of
And
the
it is just, it's feverish of how fast it's growing and how good it's going to be. So good luck to you.
Thank you so much.
Please stay with us because
Absolutely.
it's just, thanks for employing me too.
Yes,
I mean,
I'm so glad
'cause
you're a part of the
I
team
get to
now.
hang out
You
and I
do.
get to, is it okay I yell third down?
Oh, you could do that. Yeah.
Is
you
that
can do
okay?
that,
Okay. I
yes.
just want to make sure.
Yes.
I don't want to tick anybody off, but we got to get fired up because
Yes.
the reason I bring that up, third down especially, the only time I get real guttural about it, if you don't know, I'm the PA announcer at home football games for Bluefield University. And the reason I want people to get fired up, that defense that I love, that is so strong. So
Yes.
many kids on this defense are just intimidating players.
Yes.
And we got to get that 12th man
right.
in the stands behind them because we got a young man coming up here in just a second, Billy Corbin, who had 8 tackles on his own, a career high there at
That's
Bluefield
okay.
University. That defense is tough.
Yes.
Is
And that
it
was
okay-
just the first game.
Is
you
it
know?
okay to push them and make them
Let's
angry?
Push them. We're behind you.
I
Yes.
appreciate it.
Thank
Tanya
you.
Walker, learn more, like I
Appreciate
said,
you.
online at bcrams.com. And don't forget, also coming up this Saturday, women's volleyball going to have their home opener. They're going to be taking on Bryan. That's an early matchup. That's going to be at 10 o'clock. And, of course, you can see that and follow that online at bcrams.com. Immediately after that, of course, kickoff at 1 o'clock as the Rams take on Emory and Henry down in Abingdon. But also women's soccer going to be taking on Reinhardt at 2 o'clock. So you can check that out. Now, somebody that man, you were just all over the place this past Saturday, albeit in a losing effort, but there's so much to come away from this past Saturday against Thomas More in that win. They stole it away from us. I
Yeah,
just gotta
they
say that.
did,
They
man.
stole that away from him, and that's
They
what you're
did.
going to end up doing. You're going to end up stealing some. Tavarius, don't call him that. Call him Billy
Yeah.
Corbett, number 35 for that Bluefield University Rams football team. A career high for you, but a career highlight for the defensive unit as a whole.
Right.
How did you feel about your team's performance? I mean, granted, forget the scoreboard. Let's
Mm-hmm.
talk about the defensive unit. The heads weren't hanging too low after some of those plays.
Nah, because, definitely next week, this coming up Saturday, we got something for them.
Really?
So, yeah, we planning, we working, so we trying to be great. We trying to win and trying to get to the ball. So,
Well, and the one thing I see about your unit, too, it's on all sides of the ball with the Rams. But one thing I see, especially with this defense, it's not individual play. Granted,
Definitely
you got a great staff there, but
Right.
you all are one man on an 11-man football team.
right, because, like Coach Les was saying, that the only thing we really got to work on better is just communicating and working together. Like, That's all we really got to do to win. This defense, our defense, I feel like our defense can really be unstoppable.
You really can.
Yes.
Because when the pressure's on, it seems like you all knuckle down, get your hands in the dirt, and you all just, I mean, I'm using a lot of cliches here, but
Right.
that's what fat old white men like me do when we sit up in the stands and watch football, and
Right.
we're, quarterbacking and coaching. But the one thing I could see with you guys, every snap of the ball,
Yeah.
it was there. Now, granted, there were a couple over the top. It was just a couple of plays. But what was it like? Was it nice hitting that quarterback?
Hey, man.
Or that running back, too.
The
That
running
one, right,
back.
Caldwell, that number one,
Yeah.
that little kid was shifty and fast.
Yeah.
How do you keep up with somebody like that?
Listen, he was tough.
He was.
He was tough, but
Hard-nosed.
yeah, but we just came up with it, man. We've been practicing it for months now, so we just had to go out there and did what we did, and
Well, Coach alluded to earlier. Let's talk about your journey to Bluefield, Virginia, Bluefield University.
Man.
Starting out in the state of Florida, where you played football 12 months a year down there, didn't
yes.
you? How long have you been playing with the Pigskin?
Man, since I'm gonna say my sophomore year.
Oh, so you didn't start until you were in high
Oh, you talking about when I first started football?
Yeah, when did you really? What's your
Oh.
football journey been like when you were a kid,
Oh,
all the
my
way to
God.
now?
I've been playing since I was like 11 years old, and the actual way I got into it is I didn't play football at first. I was actually just a kid playing video games, and then one day out of nowhere, my stepdad came into my life, and
Aw.
he just said, "Hey, you want to try football?" I said, "Hey, I'm down for it." And then as soon as he put me in, it just took off from there.
It clicked.
It just clicked.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
And that's my
Now,
role
now,
model.
has your primary focus always been stopping, playing defense?
I actually wanted to play offense first.
Right.
I told Coach Les one year, I said, "Coach, I want to play wide receiver." He thought I was joking. I was actually for real. I wanted to play wide receiver, but he didn't want to. He thought I was better on defense. So
Well,
I
I
just
mean,
stayed with it.
I think the proof's in the pudding.
Yeah,
you need
yeah,
to listen to
exactly.
Coach. How you feeling? How was your first game? You feeling okay?
Yeah, I'm feeling great. I'm just ready for next week, man. I actually want to. I just want to beat DeMarcus Winbush. To be honest, I just want to beat him in everything.
Well, if you can emulate to be somebody, you have to be a heck of a person to try to be.
Yeah,
You
I
think?
know. I want to go again. Like I feel like every time we step on the field together, it's a challenge between each other. Like we just want to push each other to be great. That's all it really is.
Well, a unit as a whole, it
Yeah.
seems like you had a lot of fire, a lot of tenacity.
Yeah.
And it's a short trip down to Abingdon.
Yeah.
But what's your road trip? What's the essential for Billy in his road trip bag? What's your go-to things you have to have? Forget your gear, but the
Okay.
things you got to have to make your road trip. What do you got to have to make your road
All right,
trip?
I gotta have my phone.
Which has got a great playlist on it, I'm sure.
It definitely does. Gotta have my AirPods.
Right.
Gotta have some snacks.
Okay, what's a go-to snack for
My
Billy?
favorite snack right now is Twizzlers. I don't know why, but
The
it's
pull-apart or the regular kind?
the pull apart.
Oh, yes.
They're
Yes.
the regular red ones. Pull apart Twizzlers. I don't know why. I just love them
Because
so
you're
much.
a smart young man.
That's-
And
I think
I think
that's
it all
what it
stems
is.
from your gaming days and
Yeah.
out of football. You've kind of meshed them in, put them in together,
Yeah.
and you've got a really good thing going.
And I think also it's because red on red. Twizzler on
it
red,
does
so-
look good. Billy,
Yeah.
all I can say is God bless you. Please be careful.
I
I worry about you children, because I say children because, I mean, other than Sarge, who's O'Donnell,
Right.
who just turned 28 this past weekend, who's no longer on the team. He graduated, but still,
Yeah.
you're mostly young men.
Right.
But all I can say, I got to emphasize that, men, you guys are tremendous gentlemen. You all constantly, yes, sir, no, sir, thank you.
Yes, sir.
And even in a loss, you guys are out there in the circle, still fired up.
Right.
And I'm telling you, there's something magical going on with your team. You're one of the keys to it. And all I can say is good luck and go get a win this weekend.
Thank
Okay, young man?
Appreciate it.
Billy Corbin, number 35, who had his career high 8 tackles. It didn't hurt too many people. Go ahead. No,
if
say
you
one more
guys are
time.
watching, go subscribe to Billy Way TV on YouTube. Thank you.
One more time. Say it louder.
Subscribe to Billy Way TV on YouTube.
Billy, you got a new subscriber out of me, so you can check out. You can learn more about him and all of his teammates, and more about all the programs there at Bluefield University online at bcrams.com. And don't forget, kickoff this Saturday at 1 o'clock down at Emory and Henry in Abingdon, Virginia. If you're in the area or out of the area, it's a short trip to make down I-81 or take the scenic route. Go 460-19, go down that way Go see a good game this weekend, or watch it online and learn more at bcrams.com. Don't forget, you can be a great supporter and be a member of the Rams Club. Get more information online at bcrams.com. One more time, let's wrap it up by saying what's going on this week with all the sporting events. Coming up Wednesday, men's soccer going to be taking on nationally ranked Reinhardt at the East River Complex there on John Nash Boulevard. That'll be at 2 o'clock as Jackson, young man, going to be helping out with my good friend MC Ethan Stinson as they have coverage of that game. You can see that at 2 o'clock online at bcrams.com. This Saturday, women's volleyball in the Dome. Home opener taking on Bryan at 10 a.m. So go get you some breakfast. Actually, come get some breakfast here at The Grind in downtown Bluefield, Virginia. 103 Spring Street. Get you a delicious breakfast sandwich, something caffeinated, something uncaffeinated, and head on over to the Dome and see women's volleyball. And they see women's soccer as they take on Reinhardt at 2 o'clock. And once again, a big thank you to our host and sponsor, The Grind, 103 Spring Street here in Bluefield, Virginia. Learn more online at thegrindbluefield.com. And, of course, thanks to head coach Dewey Lust, Tanya Walker, and everybody for being part of the BC University family. You all take care. We'll see you this Saturday as the Rams take on Emory and Henry. Going to get a win. I can guarantee it. Got goosebumps thinking about it. Learn more online, bcrams.com. Thank you all. Good night. God bless, and thanks for tuning in to the Bluefield University Coaches Show.